Okay.
James
he's
Franco,
like 40.
I was going to say, I didn't even think he was 40. He's 44.
I wonder why he hates James Franco.
Because he thought
'Cause he
his
saw
wife
that
was
Wizard
having
of
an
Oz
affair.
movie.
I thought it was before that.
He saw The Disaster Artist.
He said he hated.
You're
hated
tearing me apart!
Oh, but yeah, no. James Franco. I want to see his testimony, and apparently Elon Musk is supposed to testify
I'm glad
too.
that test ended in Moni and not Ickles.
Yeah, me too. I'm with you. Cosign.
Would you like to sniff my testicles?
Would you like to sniff my testimony? You ever seen 127 Hours? You ever see where he cuts his arm off the penknife? That's
I've never
intense,
seen it,
boy.
but
oh, God.
I love reenacting it at climbing gyms.
Do 127 hours?
Yeah, I'm like, you're stuck? And I fire up my chainsaw.
Yeah.
Not stuck anymore. They're like, I was taking a break, man.
I'm just getting some water. God, leave me alone.
Hey, I'm just trying to help. Okay.
Yeah. That movie's 10 years old now, 12 years old. He played Aaron Ralston, who was this guy who everybody knows the story by now. He gets stuck in the desert climbing by himself and cuts his arm off to free himself from, he got stuck between a rock and a hard place, quite literally, and chopped his arm off. Didn't chop, he had to saw it off with like a penknife or something. That is an intense, because boy, they tried to replicate as much of that as they could in that movie, and and they don't just like, they don't show him with a knife and then they cut to him laying on the ground and his arm's in the rock. It's a long sequence.
Yeah, I don't want to watch that.
It's wild.
I don't need to. Although I saw the Doctor Strange preview last night. Very fun movie.
I heard it's very specifically a Sam Raimi movie.
Oh, it's very Sam Raimi.
Yeah.
Like, I would say this is the... Because in the
Raimiest Raimi that ever Raimied?
Well, no, in the MCU, you're not getting a lot of the director's flair in these movies.
Right.
This is the first one where you're like, okay, I can tell that the director was able to do pretty much what he wanted. Because it's got horror elements that are very consistent with Sam Raimi. Just designs and the sound and everything reminds me of Sam Raimi movies. And this one is the darkest and probably like most violent Marvel movie that's not like Deadpool or anything. Like,
because
PG-13.
He picked it up from the other guy.
Yeah, it was
Stephen
Scott.
Norrington.
Okay.
Who I think directed the Blade movies. And so Norrington has a difference of opinion when they're shooting the sequel. He did the first one, and they bring Sam Raimi in. Because a lot of times, to your point, they'll take directors who might have had like a popular indie movie, and they'll go, hey, want to do a Marvel movie? Like the Russo brothers.
Yeah, Russo brothers.
Back in the day, they're
doing episodes of Community, and then they got Winter Soldier.
Well, because they can pay them nothing.
Yeah.
So they go, look, these movies make a ton of money. We'll get you in the door, and we'll pay you nothing, but then you make all your money when you keep making them.
When you keep making them, and make a lot of money. But I thought this one was good. It's one of those ones where, because I'm so deep into the MCU stuff, I know everything that's going on, but I don't think if you're like a casual viewer, like you might be like, oh, this is kind of fun, like a monster movie. But there's a lot of nuance to it as well if you know the characters and their backstories. Like you need to watch WandaVision to really appreciate this whole movie.
Oh, you do?
Yeah. Which was a great show. I think that might be my favorite MCU show that's been out so far.
By the way, I'm way off. Devotion to accuracy. It was not Stephen Norrington I was thinking of. It was Scott Derrickson.
Scott Derrickson.
Yeah, not Stephen Norrington. So Derrickson, who's got bigger films under his belt, I guess had fights at the beginning of the sequel. He splits. They pull Sam Raimi in there.
Mm-hmm. Well, and then
didn't they get what was the big movie? Was it Star Wars where Ron Howard swoops in after because he did the Solo movie?
Yeah. He finished it off because they fired, I think they had the guys from Game of Thrones started it, and then they booted them and brought in, what's his face?
Ron Howard?
Yeah. And
Mary,
then
your thoughts?
Edgar Wright. Nerd alert! Edgar Wright was supposed to do Ant-Man. Nerd alert! Nerd alert! Nerd alert! And he's a guy that's got a very specific style where you can tell when it's one of his movies, and Marvel didn't want that. They're like, no, you make a Marvel movie, and you can put a little bit in there.
Do you think they gave Sam
thing.
Raimi some leash because he had done Spider-Man?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think him, and I think, there's certain guys that they work well within those confines. I think James Gunn is one of those guys where they're like, okay, here's how far you can push it. Here's the money that we're going to give you, and work within those parameters. Mm-hmm. And they can do that. But a guy like Edgar Wright, he wants full control.
My wife was palling around with him for a while.
Edgar Wright?
Because he was going to shoot Baby Driver in Cleveland.
That's right.
And so when she was with the Film Commission and she was doing locations, she was driving around with Edgar Wright.
I love that movie.
And then that fell apart, and he did it in L.A., I think. But
I thought it was in Atlanta.
They did some in Atlanta,
okay.
yeah. But I think they shot some in L.A. Maybe not, I don't know. But he had been she and he had been scouting Cleveland for Baby Driver. With the great Kevin Spacey.
Yeah. Alan, I'm no body language expert, but I am going to analyze Mary right now. And I would say... Nerd alert! Nerd alert! She is enthralled with the conversation that we're having.
Deeper. Go deeper.
Deeper.
Oh. No,
deeper.
I mean, hey, man, it's what interests you. I get this at home. My boyfriend's real into wrestling, so I call him his stories. He puts on his stories. He's yelling at shirtless men on the TV.
He's yelling.
Oh, yeah. He's like, there's certain characters that are his favorite. There's certain characters he hates. So when they come out and they're yelling at each other, and then he's chiming in, and I'm just...
Is he both... Does he watch like WWEN?
He watches AEW.
AEW.
That's the Wednesday night one. Yeah, that's the one. I don't know, man.
And who does he like?
There's a couple of them. He likes CM Punk.
Oh, I know CM Punk.
He likes...
He's a Chicago guy.
Luchasaurus, Crazy Boy, Jungle Boy.
Okay.
Jungle Boy, it's Matthew Perry's son. Every time he comes on screen, I go,
oh, right.
I go, it's Chandler's kid. And he doesn't think it's as funny as I do.
Chandler's kid.
But, so I got this version of everything you just did. I got that last night.
Isn't Chris Jericho in AEW?
He is. He got...
When he's not out with Fozzy?
He was fighting last night, two guys. He came out with this... This is what I don't understand about
Colt
wrestling.
Cabana, I think he's there too.
He came out with this whole entourage. Chris Jericho had like 6 dudes with him, and then the one guy jumps out of the ring and starts attacking Chris Jericho, and then all the guys stand there and watch. I'm like, why are you walking around with an entourage of 6 dudes who are just going to watch you get beat up?
Because they like to watch, and he can handle himself.
Stupid.
He's Chris Jericho. He's been doing this a long time.
Yeah.
It might be scripted.
Well, that's the thing. The acting is so bad, and I'm laughing, and I'm like, right? And he's like, yeah, but it's fun. Like, he's not
It's escapism
right.
for sure.
And he's not one of those people where it's like wrestling is life. These are all true stories. He knows it's set up.
It's silly.
And then he'll be like, I mean, yeah, but it isn't. He likes playing along. Whatever.
A buddy of mine my late co-host, Jim Lynam from Chicago, used to run a wrestling league in the South Side of Chicago, and we would go to a couple of the matches, and it was like some low-key stuff. But CM Punk, Phil, as we call him, is a Chicago guy. And so the last time that I had him on my show and I was on Chicago, we were talking after the break. He was in town to do some big thing, and he goes, why don't I come down to the thing you guys are doing on Friday? And he goes, and we'll set something up where because it would have been a massive, massive thing if he had walked into this indie wrestling thing. And he goes, and then I'll pull you in or something. I go, I'm absolutely not doing that.
Yeah, right.
No
way.
I can't. These are animals at these independent wrestling things. I'm like, they would be there to see you. They would try to murder me.
Right.
So I'm like, cool, man, but no thank you.
I think Christian Cage is hot. That's why I watch it.
Don't know him.
And he's one of the old school, like Chris Jericho. He's been wrestling forever, and then he came back with this AEW, and he's one of the big guys. He's so cute, and I'll watch it, and I'm like, all right.
Well, then there's something for you.
There's something for me. There's muscular, good-looking guys that are getting all sweaty, and that's cool. The acting is god-awful.
Is that the same reason your boyfriend likes it?
Probably.
Yeah.
That's why I said, I'm like, you love this. You love this so much, and you can't even hide it. But, yeah, Christian Cage is my guy. My boyfriend got me a Christian Cage cameo for my birthday, and it made me cry.
It made you cry.
Dave made me cry because it was just such a thoughtful thing. The fact that it was Christian Cage didn't really...
Did he talk like this?
No.
Hey, Mary.
No, he was like, hey, Mary, your boyfriend tells me that you guys have bonded over watching wrestling, and you're a big fan of mine. And it was just like a thoughtful thing, but... Yeah, I just got a flashback to
I remember him. He when he was in the WWE, he was just Christian.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then he went there. There's a lot of those
Christian
guys.
Cage. He's super hot. And his one of his things is outwork everyone. And I identify with that. I outwork pretty much everybody I've ever met.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Getting up at 8:30 in the morning.
I got up at 10:15 today. Thank you.
15. Oh, I love it. No one's gonna hustle harder than me from noon to 6.
Oh, I got my toe rings today, so working pretty hard.
I'm getting inside information that it's Luke Perry's son, not Matthew Perry's.
Yeah, the joke was Chandler.
Oh, okay.
You said Luke Perry.
No, I thought it was Matthew Perry.
Oh, I thought you said Luke Perry, but the joke
No.
was Chandler's kid.
I've legitimately thought that it was Matthew Perry's son, and I'm almost positive that's what my boyfriend was telling me, that it was
No,
Matthew
Luke Perry's son is a wrestler.
Okay.
Matthew Perry doesn't have kids.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, then we are both wrong, because I'm 95% positive he told me Matthew Perry, and that's why I started making the Chandler's
I
kid.
heard you say Luke, and I was like, oh yeah, and then you said Chandler.
No, I said Luchasaurus. That's the guy that he rides in on. His name is Jungle Boy.
Okay.
And he rides on a human.
Oh,
I think
all right.
his name is Luchasaurus.
Luchasaurus.
There are probably people screaming into their radio right now because I'm getting this wrong.
Your boyfriend's probably one of them.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Luke Perry's son. Because
Yeah.
I think before Luke Perry died, he was like a big booster for his son in wrestling. Yeah.
He's got like long hair and he's like skinny.
Luke Perry now? No, I don't think. I think
Yeah.
he's just a
Very
skeleton
skinny.
now.
No, he's skinny.
Oh, is he?
He's probably pretty skinny.
So I got a long text from a female clinician in the break on body language. She said body language is a huge part of assessing someone during a psych evaluation. I wrote him back and I said, are you looking for specific behaviors or you're looking to attach certain behaviors to a certain diagnosis? Mm-hmm. And she said there's certain behaviors with people with criminogenic thinking, which I assume when somebody is accused of something in their when they lie. Many similar behaviors that people who display sociopathic traits display, taking into account trauma and mental health assessments are extremely lengthy, and they look through every aspect of a person's life. Amber Heard displays very similar behavior to a female sociopath like Jodi Arias. Remember Jodi Arias?
Yeah.
No.
Killed the dude in the shower, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Psycho style.
Mm-hmm. Psycho style. Well, again, that's what people are saying about Amber Heard, is that because she and Johnny Depp, from what I understand, were like both filming each other all the time. So there's footage of him passed out. There's recordings of him screaming. But he's got recordings of her screaming
They
and throwing
already
stuff.
knew that it was going to be acrimonious,
Yeah.
so they were like, I need to get my evidence now.
Man, well, that might be the smartest things that they did, but I just don't know how you...
That's not a relationship.
Obviously, it's a lot of people, that's their love language. Some people, that's how they interact.
Right,
Is
they're
they
like-
need that drama. They
they're
need
like,
the
if
screaming
you're-
and the throwing and the, you know.
If you're not screaming at me, you don't even care
You don't
about
care,
me.
right.
Yeah. Which is the most insane thing. Like,
Well, they equate it to passion.
Yeah, and I
That's
hate
what it
that.
is.
Yeah.
Or that they
No.
care for you that much
I'm
because
just passionate.
I'm a very passionate person. And when I passionately stabbed them in the chest. Yeah, okay. Kelly is our bureau chief, by the way, in Spartanburg, South Carolina. For people who listen out of state on the iHeartRadio app, I'd like to know where they are. I heard from Andrew. He's a brand new listener in Orlando. He left me one of the talkback messages on the app. Paul is in Ogden, Utah. Ryan listens in Seattle. Zach is in Pittsburgh. But Kelly is in Spartanburg, South Carolina. And she sent me the story of two dudes who were fighting over a donut that Krispy Kreme didn't have. And they started attacking the employees. This is what people care about. Mm-hmm. You don't have the donut I wanted. One of the injured employees has already been discharged from the hospital. The other one is still under observation.
They're fighting these employees over
A donut that they
they
did
don't
not
have?
have. That's right.
Is it a donut they usually have, or is it a donut that they would never have?
A woman said she was waiting in line for food when an unidentified couple, black man and woman is how they describe him, arguing, screaming with the employees at the drive-through window. And that's level one. If somebody's upset with you at the drive-through window, it's not like they drive off. They park and then they come in, which is what these two did. And they start fighting the employees because they didn't have the donut that they wanted. It doesn't say, this is bad reporting, it doesn't say what kind of donut they wanted.
That is bad reporting.
Okay, so I'm wrong. I thought Krispy Kreme only made the glazed.
No.
I didn't know. Okay.
No.
That's just their
I
specialty?
think that's probably their most popular one.
Okay.
Yeah, they come out hot and in that
Well,
big
that's
box.
why I
and,
didn't know. I guess I've never gone there for anything else.
Right.
They pushed Lester down. He hit his head. Betty came running out. One of them hit her in the back of the head, and she fell. She has bleeding on her brain still. She has a lot of bruises, a black eye, bruise on her cheek. To hurt another human being over a donut, that's just wild to me.
Tell us all about it.
Yeah, that's the detail I want. What kind of donut evokes that kind of passionate response?
I've never had a donut that good.
No, I haven't either.
I don't know if I've ever had food that good.
That you would go in and fight somebody because they didn't have it.
Fight? I'm not a fighter.
They're fighting employees. You're a lover, not a fighter.
I might be like, man, come on.
But you'd fight over something.
I'm trying to think.
No, I think your fighting days are behind you. I think that was more of a drink and marry personality trait.
I come here and you say don't have strawberry icing. But this donut house, your house donuts. And you said, where are no sprinkles?
I didn't get any of that. Usually I get some of that. I didn't get any of
Well,
that.
I had sprinkles. You put the sprinkles in it and then said, oh, no, I don't have it. You know it's coming.
We didn't have any sprinkles. We haven't had sprinkles here.
Sir, you had a sprinkle. I had a manager has the sprinkles 2 days ago. Where they had it? Where they had
that wasn't a Krispy Kreme.
It
that
was
was a
Krispy
different...
Kreme with a bunch of donut holes.
He told officers that the two suspects came to the drive-thru and ordered donuts the store does not have. When the employee said, we don't have those kind of donuts, they said, why do you have such an attitude about it?
I feel
The
this,
employee
though.
then told them, you have to order donuts we have or don't order at all. And then the altercation began to escalate.
I feel this.
But some
this
people,
happens.
why can't some people just go, okay, I'll go somewhere where it's always got to be a thing. You're going to get arrested. You're going to end up in jail. I don't understand
It's about the
what's going on.
disrespect.
It is the disrespect.
But it's not disrespect.
It's
We
wait a
don't.
minute.
People
we don't have those donuts.
People have a really broad definition of disrespect.
She said, we don't have those donuts. And they said, all right, easy. And they're like, listen, order it or go somewhere else. That's not exactly shutting down the problem from a customer
Respect has
service.
to be earned. Where's this idea that everybody
You get my
deserves
money.
respect?
I'm
Yeah.
a customer. You get my money. I demand respect.
But-
I pull up
but
at the
you're-
window.
but you're
they're
not-
showing respect to those employees in the first place.
But forget
That's what I'm
that.
saying. There's disrespect flying everywhere.
But forget
but
that.
So why do they have to be respectful of someone that starts the conversation disrespectful?
And by the way, this doesn't say that the employee was disrespectful. They thought he was being disrespectful because some people who have that kind of brain think everybody's being disrespectful. Why are you disrespecting me? I just said your change is right here, right? It's like, come on, man. And by the way, you're not a customer until you buy something.
I'm a potential customer. And you
Potential.
Just,
Everything's
you
a
just
potential
lost a
something.
customer.
Yeah, right. They certainly care about that. Fine, get out of here. I got people behind you with money for things they bought. You're not a customer
and
until you
saying-
buy something. You're trying to buy donuts we don't have.
How do you
You're not a
respectfully
customer.
say? How do you respectfully say after someone's being disrespectful to you? Yeah, you have to order the donuts that are on the menu.
I don't know why people
Like-
aren't smart about it. They say, we don't have that donut. You go, okay, could I just have a medium coffee?
They don't want
And
coffee.
nope, not the point. They give you the coffee,
Splash
you
it in their
throw it
face.
in the employee's face in the window, and then you drive off.
That's assault.
You didn't
Still-
get- huh?
It's still assault.
But you didn't park and walk in the lobby and get arrested.
You're gonna get arrested. They probably have cameras and can get your license plate. You got a little more time to get away, but
That's all you need sometimes. You get out of Spartanburg and you get up to Charlotte or whatever.
Bergenspart.
Bergenspart. It's all right. I'll have another $1,000 for you at 4:30. Another chance for you to go fund yourself after the break. If you want to get to that Rob Zombie and Mudvayne show this summer at Blossom, I'll hook you up with that. 35192 if you want to text, and we'll